G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on the brand new DLC, Knights of Cross and Rose, because we have got only 24 hours to go until this game releases. I tell you what, I'm pumped. I can't wait to get on the ladder. I can't wait to start grinding it out with the brand new House of Lancaster. But unfortunately, we don't have the new English in this game, but we do have the old English in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our players and meet who our champions are for today. Spawning in the east of the map, in the color red, playing as the Old English, representing EL Team Elephant. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Louis MT. And on the west side of the map, in the color purple, playing as the Knights Templar, the new French, we've got Puppy Paw. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. A pleasure to have your company on this Knights of Cross and Rose DLC evening eve. I'm trying to think like Christmas Eve. Knights of Cross and Rose DLC Eve. Anyway, hopefully you're enjoying the Age of Empires 4 content. If you are, I encourage you, head down, leave a like. Definitely helps out a huge amount with the traction of the videos. And let's get to it. Now, already we've got some interesting little developments going on over here. What is this all about? He's starting off with some stone. He's also working on gold as well. He's got Vils on the food. I've got no idea what the whole idea here is. Now, we can see that he hasn't actually spent any of this stone yet. I've got no idea what he could be doing. I think what I think he's probably done is he's got a second TC in the target, in the crosshair right now, and he's also worked out a build order. So this is something that I loved to do, where you basically work out a perfect little build order that enables you to get up basically at the time, just the correct time to drop your second town center. I think that's probably what he's done. He's probably gone in, he's done a little bit of math and said, okay, this allows me to get the second town center up at 4 minutes and 16 seconds exactly. And then that way, what he's essentially looking to do here on the Knights Templar is minimize the amount of walking distance that villagers are going to be doing, because you don't want to be bringing out one villager and bringing it over to here, or like two villagers on gold and then sending them over to the stone. It's a huge walking distance. So if you can work something like this out, which it definitely looks like he has, I tell you what, we've almost cracked the code right here, because I'm excited. Let's check in though on the other side of the map though, because Louis is well, how's Louis doing? Louis doing standard English thing. Louis doing standard English things here. Louis, what is going on? Why do you have 6 villagers on gold? What is going on with these two gamers right now? Now, of course, there's also been a little bit of a patch that's hit these guys as well. But for all intents and purposes, there shouldn't be too much of a difference between what they get up to. Age Up now going to be coming through. It is Council Hall. Now, keep in mind, this is a ranked, or not a ranked game, but this is a custom game between these two guys. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can check them out, because both of these guys do create content for this game. Puppy Paw going to be creating content over on Twitch mainly. And then for Louis MT, that's going to be over on Bilibili, which is, I think, the Chinese streaming platform. But we do see the age up coming through. So Knights Hospitaler, about 4 minutes and 28. And you can see that he's moved over a whole bunch of vills now over onto stone. Now, what else is he going to be doing with stone? I think the only real option that he's got is for that second TC. I think he probably still needs to work out that timing on the villagers at this stage, just because we could see he's got, or maybe he has actually got this. Maybe he should line up with this relatively well. If he gets this the moment he ages up, though, you're looking at about a 4 minute 30 age up. I feel like he could probably do faster with like the second TC, but I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. So we'll have to wait and see how quickly he can get this town center down, because Vils are now going to be able to be pulled off stone. He's got that 350 in the bank. Let's watch, wait, and see. We're not going to be too interested in what Louis MT gets up to today. I'll tell you right now, he's playing the Old English. We're not interested in it. We're interested in the new civs, in particular, the new French, which is what we've got right here. And you can see that town center is going to be coming down. Incredible timing here, actually. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. He's going to be putting it down over on the deer here, which is going to be absolutely lovely. So beautiful timing on that. And this is really, really nice, because when we consider the fact that the Council Hall is coming up on the other side of the map, Louis is going to be rushing to get out here and hopefully looking to deny these deer from his opponent, or at least prevent this town center from getting up, because the age up is about to come through. It's quite a late age up, though. It's definitely not an early age up. Often we do see these English players look to go for like a 4 minute 4-minute and 10-second age up sort of thing. Not going to be the case today, but Louis does immediately get the longbow in queue. Looking to see if he can deny out, at the very least, some villages. Not going to be happening, though, but we do see the Pilgrim, the first Pilgrim on the way. Going to be heading out to the middle of the map. Now, I think this one shouldn't have too many issues, even if the longbow does come out. Actually, there is a second longbow, and they do make some pretty fast feet, these guys. I think he'll probably end up losing this Pilgrim. But second longbow has been pulled away. Never mind. He'll be fine. He's going to lose a couple of sheep, though, for it. We can see the longbow's on standby. First one on the way out. I don't know whether Louis sees it. Yeah, Louis doesn't see it. You can see he's kind of moving over towards this direction, just in an attempt to guard. And the Pilgrim will make it through. As long as he touches the sacred site. That's it. He's in the end zone, and there it is. That's it. He gets his gold and heads on through to the next life. But let's check in with Puppy Paw, because this town center was very quick, rushing the second TC. He's definitely got the build all sorted out, and we will definitely say that right now. Nice little outpost as well on the wood line. Have a look at this. Puppy Paw is looking to play the Turtle Dream right now. Now, I hope that we see him move his pilgrims to a different sacred site, because realistically, this one just feels like it is an open shut case when it comes to sacred sites, just simply because you don't want to be sending your pilgrims into the enemy units, exactly like how he's doing here. But I guess now that he knows that, hopefully he looks to shift where his pilgrims are going. But that's going to be the first one that does go down this game. He was, I think, looking to wall right here, but I suspect that's just been cancelled. Arrow slits now coming through. Second town center, obviously functioning very well here. Now, he moved into Knights Hospitaller, which means that he's picked up a little bit of extra health on his civilian units, which is going to help him out a huge amount against these longbows if they, in the event they do look to get aggressive, which they probably will. So we'll keep an eye on that. On top of that, he's also got the ability to heal up units with the Hospitaller Knight, which is the unique unit that is available to him. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that and as to whether he goes into it. But we do now start to see the Pilgrim moving out. There was a scout in this area. I think he dropped down the campfire, but you've obviously got to be having units nearby. And look at the reaction here from Louis, almost predicting, well, not even almost predicting, in fact, just predicting that his enemy would look to try and switch things up. He's not going to commit 100% to that top side, but we would love to absolutely see him. No, I take it back. He is indeed. So I don't know whether he got confirmation there from the scout on the Pilgrim location, but he's definitely in the right spot. Oh, it's only the single spearman there. Look, the longbow's going to fall back. A little bit of a mistake. I mean, realistically, what are you doing by bringing the longbows back towards the town center like this? Nothing really. But you know what you're doing by not having them up here? You're allowing the Pilgrim to come through, and that's exactly what Puppy Paw is going to enjoy right now. 116 gold coming through to him as well, and he'll be a very happy camper here. You can see that comes through. Even though the Pilgrim is still on the site, it could still technically die, but you'll still get the gold for it. So that's always nice to utilize. Blacksmith now coming down archery range. He's going into the triple archery range right here, so a lot of economic units coming out, and also looking to get a lot of military as well. So Puppy Paw early on in this game, he's taken a 5-villager lead for the moment. No second TC in sight just yet for Louis MT. Could look to try and play it around the King's Palace as an option. That second town center in the Castle Age always going to be quite convenient. Prevents you, well, not prevents you, but just means that you don't have to drop down the second TC. You're kind of killing two birds with one stone, right? Like you're throwing down all of this economic building, and then at the same time you're taking up, so it's quite nice. But we do see that Pilgrim in the north probably going to get picked off. Let's have a look and see whether he's able to make it and get the gold or not. Longbows will fire off, and maybe if the second volley was going to count, because I think the gold actually registers like around somewhere in this area right here. So I'm sure it'll get to the point where people start to really try and min-max it, and maybe even put walls up just to kind of prevent those kind of shots from coming through. But for the moment, though, Puppy Paw is looking strong. I think he's doing relatively well so far in this game. The fact that he's got up the 2 town centers, Louis definitely hasn't done damage. And I think, look, with regard to the Knights Templar, it's going to take some time for us to work out exactly how to play them. I think it's the exact same with House of Lancaster. There's obviously some balance issues that are going to need to be sorted out. But for the moment, I think the big thing is that people are still exploring, right? And it's going to take some time for us to understand every little intricacy of the civilization, but at the moment people are definitely favoring the second town center, and I wonder why that is, or what sort of encourages people to do that compared to just playing into pilgrims. Because in my mind, like as an example, I'm going to be releasing a build order that comes up soon, and it's just kind of like a standard sort of opening. definitely didn't really play into that second town center mindset. But I'm curious because we've seen Crackety do this. We've also now seen Puppy Paw do this. And these are two really good players. And obviously they've got a pretty good eye for the meta. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see this look to be a more of a long-term thing. Especially if you're getting a town center down really quickly, like how they're doing here. The fact that the Knights Templar are getting the second TC down in, like, what was it, 425, 430, somewhere in that region. So it basically means that you can't have that town center denied. You're always going to get it up, and these vills pay themselves off very quickly. These are some of the best villagers in the game for how fast they pay themselves off if they're on wood. If they're on food, not so much. But if they're on wood, incredibly powerful. So as long as he's able to max out those archer numbers, and he's up to 28 at the moment, already outnumbering Louis MT here. So keep in mind that on the defensive, he'll have even more of an advantage, just simply because Louis is going to be rallying this whole time. Or that whole 27 longbow number isn't quite out yet on the field. But now Puppy Paw continuing to add in horsemen as well. We don't see any Hospitaller Knights out just yet. +1 upgrades are coming through, though. We do see Steeled Arrow on the way. He's looking to pick that up. He's already got the Iron Undermesh through, and there's the longbows on the front line. Both players looking to try and position themselves appropriately. Longbows getting some decent shots off, focusing on that back line. And Horsemen trying to bait those spearmen forward, doing a good job so far. But I would say at this stage, Louis looks like he's got a bit of an advantage. One thing to note is no outpost up just yet for him. He's got the outpost coming up, but definitely missing those attack speed. That's one of the key differences between the longbow and any standard archer, is the fact that you've got that attack speed. So we'll be looking to see whether or not he plays into it. Now coming through. Bonus, little bit of bonus coming through. He's going to try and focus down the horseman. Not quite able to one-shot it just yet, but does get that last little volley off. And you can see that he's starting to expand now as well with the villagers, trying to get them onto these berry bushes. A little bit too aggressive or greedy so far. Meanwhile, for Louis, still committing 100% to the bit, just looking to play it out in feudal. We'll check in with the income per minute. You can see Louis is down 14 villagers at the moment, and that means that with regard to income per minute, you're looking at about 1,400, 1,500, somewhere in that region for him. And compare that to Puppy Paw, who's sitting on a very decent amount, about 2,100. So quite far ahead on that villager count. All of his food has started to run out, though, so he may have to transition into farms. He does still have the berries in the back of the base that he can look to try and take. He's got the deer to the south. He could definitely get a nice little wall off across here, maybe a wall off across this side as well. And you can see him moving down here with the units, which definitely signifies that there is a chance he's thinking about it. So far, though, continuing to take advantage of the Knights Templar villager on the wood line. Now, keep in mind, you don't need lumber camps with the Knights Templar. And that's what we sort of see Puppy Paw taking advantage of here. A lot of villagers on wood. And not only do you not need lumber camps, but you also get a percentage of the wood that you gather as food. You also gather wood faster because you don't have the lumber camp, so you can't get the upgrade. But Archer's going to try and focus down the battering ram here, doing a decent job. The longbow's going to try and trade out with them, but he's got so many damn archers. Have a look at the number advantage. 49 versus 36. He doesn't really even care that he's losing all these archers while he's taking out the battering ram. Decent micro coming through from Louis, though, not focusing down individual archers, instead utilizing that attack move, which is exactly what he needs to do. At this stage of the game, the age up's now going to come through the Kingdom of Castile, so looking to take advantage of the Genitor. So we'll have a look and see exactly what that does for him. So it's also going to give him 20% damage and regeneration of health near sacred sites. So the radius works out to be probably about 6 or 7 tiles from the center of the sacred site. So keep that in mind. But now, Horseman moving forward. He's looking to commit one of the cardinal sins of Age of Empires right here, fighting while he's aging. Normally, whenever you're aging, you want to avoid fighting wherever possible. But at the same time, you also want to avoid losing your base. And he is actively losing his base. We can see these archers have been pulled all the way back here. Now that age up about to come through. There it is. That's going to unlock the Genitor. It's also going to unlock veterancy for all of his units, or at least the ability to get veterancy. +2 is also going to be in play here. Probably going to be looking for ranged armor more than anything. And don't be surprised if we see a Genitor or 2 coming out. Now, he's already got a pretty decent eco lead out of this. He's up 17 vils, make it 16 vils, as he did just lose one. So he's up a good amount of economy, and as long as he holds that 16 villager lead, this town center's already done a pretty decent job of paying itself off right now. I think he should be pretty close to it, just considering the Knights Templar is such a better villager, or has such a better villager than everybody else does on wood. So as long as he's making wood-heavy units, he'll be okay. +2 ranged armor is now coming through. We don't see any Gen2s just yet. He does have the resources for it, so I'm kind of surprised that he's not more invested into it. But now pushing forward, no veterancy just yet. No +1 ranged armor, or rather +2 ranged armor. He's going to look to try and fight it out. Longbow's doing a decent job with the kiting. He's a little bit too far away from that outpost. Needs to wait until those units get into line of sight. There we go. Now they've finally entered, and it's going to activate on all of the units down below it. And hopefully, he should be able to defend in the pocket, but now the veterancy has come through, +2 about to arrive as well. And we've got ourselves a bit of an archer battle that is unfolding in this game. Archer numbers are absolutely tracking to reach an all-time high. And now underneath the outpost, Spearman going to move forward. He realizes there's nothing that he can do with these spears. I'm somewhat surprised we're not seeing Gen2s instead going to be moving into men-at-arms, Puppy Paw is. But at the end of the day, the longbows do stay alive. And it looks like a castle age is going to be coming through from Louis MT. Maintains his mass. Now, if he lost this mass, he pretty much loses the game guaranteed. It's very hard to come back from that. Just because of the position that Puppy Paw is in, the villager count that he's got is incredible at the moment. So being up 17 villagers just translates to a lot of economic power right now. So the age up about to come through for Louis. So realistically at this point, Louis doesn't want to fight. Louis just wants to chill. He needs to get his veterancy upgrades. Needs to get +2 on both armor and attack. And then he can think about fighting. Doesn't need to get the +2 though. As long as he's got the +2 on armor, he should be okay. And now the King's Palace is going to come online, so he's going to be dropping it on the wood line. A lot of vills back here as well. How many have we got? Only 9. Oh, that's a kind of low number. I would like him to be aging up with more than 9 villagers. Market going to get thrown down as well, so needs a little bit of gold, so you can see him going to be doing a bit of trading shortly. But all these villagers getting evacuated out. Men-at-arms together with the archers, starting to build. No unique units out for us just yet. No Hospitaller Knights. No Gen2s just yet, but he does pick up that extra attack bonus from the Faith of Castile. Getting an extra 20 damage. You can see him actually standing next to the sacred site intentionally just to get that little bit of bonus damage. And it's going to take time for players to remember to use this as well. Keep that in mind, that it's not going to be just everyone's remembering, oh, that's right, I've got this bonus, I'm going to take advantage of that. No, it's going to take time. Age up now comes through. We'll be looking for veterancy on the council hall, and there it is. So 28 seconds to go on that one. Of course, your research time is going to be reduced by half here. We can see all these vills dropping off the gold, so expect to see +2 as well. There we go, there's +2 on the way, as well as elite men-at-arms. So probably armor cladding could be another factor in this game. So armor cladding is going to give him quite a lot of assistance against these archers, because if we take a look, they're doing 8 damage. And with +2, they'll be going up to 9 damage. And the men-at-arms, once it gets the +2 ranged armor, together with the armor cladding, that is really going to start pushing its armor value up. And it's going to mean those archers just, they're not very effective. Let's just put it that way. Fortunately for Puppy Paw, though, he's got quite a few of those archers. Loses out a lot of vills here. In fact, both players have lost quite a bit of villagers. Longbow's on the retreat. A little bit of shoot and scoot. 9 damage on them at the moment. Upgrade on the way through. Archers looking to tee off. Fortress is going to be coming up on that central sacred site. Keep in mind, he gets a little bit of a range boost with this fortress. If it does come up, it's going to give an increase of 15% to ranged units. So that means going from 5, I think you go from 5 up to 5.75, which is a, it's a solid amount. It's every little bit helps. So if we take a look at these archers now, you'll see that they've got, 5.75 tiles of range. So if you can fight near this, or at this sort of intersection of the castle, or the fortress rather, and the sacred site, you're getting an extra 20% damage. You're also going to be getting an extra 15% range. On top of that, you can also get extra armor as well, which we'll expect to see him doing soon with the Desert Citadel's upgrade. But now, men-at-arms together with archers heading up towards the north. I think realistically, Louis hasn't done enough damage early on. Like, of course he's taken out the second town center, but he didn't really take out a lot of villagers. We see he's trying to get back into the game, because at this stage of the game, Puppy Paw is still up by quite a decent margin on that villager count. If we take a look at the economies currently, you're talking about a 2.6, 2.7k economy up against maybe a 2k economy. And that's on a good day. So Puppy Paw is still with quite a bit of a villager lead. Just keep in mind, just not only is the villager number higher, but also the quality of those villagers are better. But he is obviously going to be working towards reducing that number, that difference down between these two. So the longer this game goes on, the better it gets for Louis. So if I'm Louis right now, I know I've taken out the second town center. I know that I've got my own second town center down. I would just be waiting. I would be playing the long game here. I'd be looking to get my upgrades, try and stay in the pocket as much as you can, get some walls up, look to try and play defensively wherever possible. If the enemy looks to siege those walls down, look to be there to defend, but ideally work towards Imperial Age. I think that's his one win condition here. It's his one out. You know, if we think about it like a poker hand, that's realistically the only way that he's got, or the only real cards that he can draw here are those cards that are going to allow him to stay a little bit later on in this game. Now, the other thing that you could look to do as well in this position is utilize some of the stone that you've got access to and look to grab a keep. That could be really nice. So I'd be tempted right now to stone wall across the back and then drop a keep down right here. I think that would be perfect. Keep the units all nice and close together. Really try and force your opponent, because this is a huge army. And Louis MT could be in massive trouble if Puppy Paw looks to commit with this and looks to go in 100%. Because keep in mind, he's got quite a bit of ranged armor here. We also see further upgrades coming through. Desert Citadel. In fact, he's out a little bit far at the moment right now. He's going to be able to focus down the first of the Templar brothers. Second one about to be focused down as well. Charges looking like they're going to be able to connect. Decent damage comes off, and he's able to do some good work, good solid work right there, but no +2 or no armor cladding just yet. He needs to wait for armor cladding. You can see he's taken so much damage in here. 6 ranged armor. It means he's taking 3 damage from each of these archers. They're just melting through them at the moment. Sends the battering rams forward. Says that he hopes that those battering rams are going to buy him a little bit of time. The armor cladding finally comes through, but it's just unfortunately a little bit too late. There's the additional men-at-arms, so as long as he wants to try and draw fire with these men-at-arms as much as he possibly can. Archers in the back of the base getting pushed now by these, or rather on the defense, the longbows getting pushed by these archers. More and more Templar brothers now going to start coming through, doing a decent job against these men-at-arms, but they're a lot more tanky. You can see the difference that they're starting to make. The kiting continues all the way around to the backside of the base. He's looking to focus down those cavalry units, doing a wonderful job as well, making sure that they are being taken out. They're big damage dealers, also good damage soakers here. 275 health on them, and I think that's just base stats as well. So they are quite the tanky, quite the chunky boys, but still Louis MT on the run now. Fill count slightly better, but unfortunately still leaving a little bit to be desired. He's going to have to start garrisoning. Nowhere that he can really play defensive in the pocket, and we can see that he's tried his best to kite his way through, and that's part of the reason why I was saying, you know, if you have that keep here, then that's somewhere that you can fall back to, and somewhere that the enemy's very hesitant to really try and contest under. But if you lose this longbow mass, you're in a really tough spot. He's inside the base. The vills are going to turn around as well and look to try and fight. Templar brothers heading on the way through. The English aggression did not pay off early on, even though we got the town center. It feels like his opponent may have already gotten everything that he needed out of that second TC. In the end, the longbows are able to defend against the archers, but the damage is being done. That vill count is starting to drop. He's down to 17 villager losses so far. And I just realized we can actually pay attention to this now. They've bug fixed this. Normally, I don't even look at it normally. I'm just like, hey, this is irrelevant, the army value. But is that right? It doesn't look right, does it? Like, you look up here and you're like, it's 2/3 difference, and these are more expensive units. Yeah, you know what? That is probably right. Yeah, that's probably right. He's got 3x the army value at the moment. Roughly 3x. That's a lot of difference. Well, in the end, he did pick up 3 out of the 5 relics, so Louis MT is going to be happy. Let's check in on the west side of the map and see exactly how these pilgrims are doing for Puppy Paw. He's got 4 of them out at the moment, so that's going to be 1 from this fortress. There's going to be a second one from this fortress, and, of course, the last 2 that come through from his upgrades. He's picked up both of these upgrades over here. He's got Sanctuary as well as Safe Passage that have come through. Templar brothers now on the move down towards the south side. And we'll see what kind of composition Puppy Paw looks to play into. Not playing into either of those unique units yet. Very interesting decision as well, just considering his enemy is very much playing a longbow-focused army. Treasure towers now going to be coming through as well, increasing gold generation even more. He's got the monastery. It is being affected by treasure towers. It's just within the radius of it. You can see it's only just crossing over right here on the corner. And now that push really starting to come to shove. Plenty of infantry units here for our Knights Templar player. And on the defense, English running for their lives. Only a handful of spears to complement all these longbows. Vill's going to dive inside the town center. He might look to try and focus down the Springalds. Indeed he is. That's the first one that goes down. You can see it, they actually go down incredibly quickly, these Springalds, but obviously they've been reworked as well, so they're not as strong as they once used to be, and all 3 sacred sites now held by Puppy Paw in this game. The Knights Templar looking incredibly strong, incredibly powerful in this casted game. These 2 players, of course, 2 of the best in the world. Very evenly matched when it comes to your standard games. And now Louis MT. He looks like he could be in a little bit of strife. Town Center most likely going to be going down. He's going to pop all the vills, going to try and get the repair out. Doing a decent job on it. Not the Knights Templar with the Templar brothers, the men-at-arms, and all of the archers. Majority of the archers have actually gone down at this point. He's only got 19 left. You can see the Templar brothers going to try and get in here deep. Not a whole lot of crossbows yet. We've got 5 of them coming out over on this backside, and you can see they've got that new animation as well, where they bring the crossbow down to the ground to reload it. Oh, it's such a good animation, isn't it? Oh, I tell you what, it's kind of hard because they got to stand still. They get their hands going and everything. It's such a cool little animation. It's those little details that really make me love Age of Empires 4. Compared to, I don't even remember what we had before. Just wait and see what you've got in Imperial. In Imperial, it looks even better now, dude. That's the crazy part. I don't remember the way that they... I just realized the crossbow doesn't move, but their hands move. It's the little things. It's the little things. Reinforcements going to continue to come through. But he's cleaning up these on the backside. The problem is the economy for Puppy Paw is just so damn strong. Look at this economy. How are you sitting on 5k? I mean, he's at 96 villas. He's at 96 villages. That's a fair amount of villages. Town Center going to go down. That's the first of the landmarks. 3 sacred sites also in play. He's going to look to throw down another fortress on the south side of the map. That'll take him up to a total of 3 fortresses, 4 landmarks. Vills on the run together with the army. Puppy Paw forcing Louis MT between a rock and a hard place. The rock being the gold, the hard place being his army. Tell you what, it's looking very hard right now for Louis MT. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. The game is over. Louis MT tapping out and Puppy Paw on the Knights Templar coming out with the victory. Now, to be honest, that's kind of unexpected, but at the end of the day, we'll allow it. We'll allow it. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the description of where you can catch these guys live, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.